of them, which is a bit of a shame.
Aw.
But still not bad, just not my favourite. So...
I don't know, reservations might still remain.
The reservations still remain. What else? Is this a holiday? Keep calm and read your Dickens. And this book uses the Anna Karenina method. Because
there we go.
It's very long and slow. So, Tess is like a peasant girl, essentially. Her dad is Jack D'Urberville. And this pastor stops him in the street and says, I've been doing I've talked about this before, people who do a particular study of things in books.
Okay.
I've been doing a particular study of genealogy, and did you know that D'Urberville is actually what's the word? Not like a mistake version, like a bastardization or a mistaken version. What's the word I'm trying to think of?
Ersatz?
There's a word I want, like a corruption of D'Urberville. So actually, your family were distantly related to aristocrats. And our guy, Jack D'Urberville, goes, that would make sense since I've got this like old ancient seal in my house that I've never done anything with. Cool. So now everyone's going to have to call me Sir John, and I'm going to immediately start acting all hoity-toity, even though I'm still a poor farmer.
Hoity-toity.
Then the person dies before he can provide any additional information. And they find out that there are no D'Urbervilles left, except one old lady somewhere. So they say to Tess, well, you're going to have to go and find this old lady and tell her we're your relatives and we want your money. So she goes there, and the lady has a son. So they're like, cool, well, you should probably marry your cousin and restore the family.
That's how that works, yeah?
Yeah. So the guy's an ass. Tess does not like him. He immediately makes advances at her, which she's not keen on. And then doesn't want to be there. But her family are like, well, you should ask for a job there and work in like the farm or in the chicken coop or something like that for this old lady. We never really see the mum at all, that old lady. But yeah, she gets a job, she works there. And her cousin wants to sleep with her, that's very clear. Tess is unbelievably innocent. You know, I don't like this in these types of books sometimes.
She's just like naive,
very
beyond
naive
belief
type.
Yeah.
And the mother is like, well, he's interested, I guess he's going to marry you then. And she's like, he didn't mention marriage, though. But to point out the naivete, at one point, after certain things happen, she goes back to her mum and is like, well, I was just a child when I left the house. You didn't tell me what men are like, you know. And the mum was like, well, I just hoped that somehow it would be fine. So she gets raped. So trigger warning there.
Post hoc. Yes.
Yeah. So, what's that logical fallacy? Is it post hoc ergo propter hoc? Something happens afterwards, therefore it's caused by it? Anyway, so she gets raped. It's pretty bad. The guy's really not a good guy. She then leaves, and her family, this is the saddest part of the book for me.
Blame her?
They're like, well, why didn't you marry him? And she's like, well, I don't like him, and he raped me. And they're just like, so you mess up your chances to get married and restore the family now. Now, the book doesn't say he raped her. It just says that they went to a party, they got some alcohol, then he takes her on a ride in the forest, rides off and abandons her to make her scared and vulnerable, comes back, and then seduces her. Okay. So I then read some articles, and a couple of people were like, well, it's not clear, maybe he seduced her, because she stays with him for a little while afterwards, and they kind of almost have a relationship, and then she leaves. So some people were like, well, he just eventually persuaded her, but like 3/4 of people were like, hey, it's rape, you know, so. It's not said in the book, but
you read into it, and most likely that's how it turned out.
So then we don't see him again for a while. She goes off and her dad dies. They get kicked out of their house that they've lived in for years and years. She goes to work on a farm, and there's like 3 girls and this one like farmer guy. She falls kind of in love with the farmer guy, but he also has to persuade her a little bit. The other 3 girls working there all want to marry the farmer. Just everyone who meets the farmer wants to marry the farmer. And they're like, but Tess, he likes you more than anyone. And she's kind of oblivious to it. And then he eventually mentions that he does like her. There's a twist which is sad, because the whole point of this story is like this innocent, vulnerable girl gets mistreated by 2 men in very different ways. So initially
So
I
the
thought...
farmer mistreats her?
Yes. You think that he's going to be better, and the twist is that he's kind of not. So he offers to marry her, and they do get married. The problem is, she's got a history because she's had sex with someone else. And, I left out an important detail, deliberately, she has a stillbirth baby from the rib.
Oh.
A stillborn baby. So, after they get married, her husband says to her, by the way, I feel really guilty, I have to tell you something. I did once have a relationship with someone else. Will you forgive me? And she's like, yes. And this is convenient because now I can tell you that I did the same thing. And he's like, but that's different because you're a woman.
Of course.
And she's kind of like, right, I don't know why it would be different. And he says, why? She says, I forgive you, why can't you forgive me? And he says, it's not that I can't forgive you, it's that this makes you a different person completely. Which is nonsense, obviously.
Somehow.
And disgusting, you know. So he's like, well, we can't live together, you're no longer my wife, and you'll have to go back to your family. He then goes off to America or Canada or something. He just leaves completely, like flees the continent. Off he goes to work somewhere. And she goes back with her family, and her dad dies, and all that kind of stuff. What makes me really dislike the farmer guy is that he then meets one of the other three girls along the way. Since he's got married, the other three who fancied him have all gone to ruin. One of them's like become an alcoholic, one of them's like homeless or something. They just like, their life is over without this man. But they're not even villains. The whole time they're like, Tess is the best among us. He should marry Tess. Like, they also support her. They're just also sad, you know? So then he meets one of them and he's like, yeah, maybe why don't you come to, like, America with me?
Okay.
And then he changes his mind. She says to him, I will love you, but no one could possibly love you more than Tess did. And then he feels guilty and he's like, okay, I'm not going to cheat on my new wife with you. I'm going to go alone. He tells her he'll come back one day and he'll write to her. He never does. We then, after much, much time, Tess meets D'Urberville again. He's reformed. He's like a pastor now. He's like doing missionary work. He's doing really, really good stuff. As soon as he sees her, that all falls apart. And of course he blames her, like Helen of Troy type stuff. He's like, well, your beauty means that I can't do all these good deeds anymore. Of course it's her fault. He does really, really try to fix things. He's like, right, your dad has died. I'm going to pay for lodgings for your entire family, and I'm going to pay for the education for your two younger brothers. So he did a horrible thing, but he is now trying to be a better person afterwards, which I guess is the best he can do after the thing is already done, right?
Yes.
So he's trying. And he says to her, look, I'll make an honest woman out of you. I'm really sorry that I ruined your marriage, essentially. Marry me, and like that's all I can offer you right now. So she's not sure, and they wait and wait and wait, and he eventually says, look, your husband's never coming back to you. You might as well marry me, I'll provide for your family and everything like that. So she does. Then
the husband comes back. Yeah, of course. That's just how this works.
And she says, then she hates D'Urberville more than ever, which I think at this point is a little bit unfair, but she says, like, you said he was never going to come back, and he did, so I hate you forever. You've lied to me, and my perfect husband has come back to me.
There's no way for...
He would never have known. I mean, okay, he's still a bad guy, of course, but like, in this instance, he wouldn't have known, and your husband also nearly didn't come back.
But Tess seems like the bad person in that case, because she could have just said, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait, because...
That's the thing, she made the decision. So do you want to... I'm going to spoil the ending. If anyone doesn't want it, skip ahead 1 minute, but here's how it ends. She murders D'Urberville.
Oh, okay.
Then she goes to Stonehenge and just dies.
Just dies in the field. Okay.
The end.
There you go.
So, the ending was weird, but...
Sudden.
I think the reason this book is famous is because, obviously, there's a rape story, and it's this controversial thing of, like, this poor girl, horribly treated by two men. She was so innocent and naive, she couldn't have figured out what was going on. The sexist society she's in means that all the cards are against her, and she really is powerless, you know?
Yeah.
And she can't do anything. And that's really sad. But she's unbelievably innocent, unbelievably naive, and the story is just not as good as like some of the other ones that I've read from this author before. The Woodlanders, for example, I really liked, and I think there was another one. The saddest parts for me are that her family are just like, cool, well, we're glad you got raped, go marry him now. That is disgusting. But, well, you're looking for the...
What do we give it?
I don't know. It was an okay book. Do we grade it on a curve? Do we say that compared to the other
Do I play
Thomas Hardy's... Let's go down the gutter.
Okay. Okay.
and it might be a bit harsh,